It's the Flow Friday night sports show, repeated 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings. We're just about through the first hour. But, boys, before we do, what about the ridiculous game of cricket that was played yesterday in New Zealand and then the farcical scenes in India? We might start with that. Ellis, a test match in India between England and India over in less than 2 days. What do you make of that?
Well, I feel sorry for the natives. Obviously, cricket is their church over in India, and to finally be allowed back to spectate a live cricket game and to see it over so quickly is disheartening. But nevertheless, a good victory, and they made England look like pretenders, really. 30
wickets and less than 400 runs inside 2 days. Dan, is that good cricket?
That is not good cricket. That's maybe good bowling, but it's absolutely unheard of. The pitch was all over the place. It was a spinner's paradise, and Joe Root taking 5 for 8 is pretty unheard of too, and I think that's pretty good evidence of how crazy the pitch was.
Axar Patel took 11 wickets. Yep, that's right. He was bowling like Warne and Murali reincarnated. Not sure about that, but it was moving sideways. If anyone put any sort of spin on the ball whatsoever, it was just flying off that pitch. So, oh dear, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how many fast bowlers even bowled in the second innings. I think it might be the only time in Test history where no fast bowler bowled an over in the second innings for either side.
Slow bowlers bowling fast.
Gee whiz, not good stuff. But keeps Australia in the hunt to play in the final of the big Test tournament that they have. Kiwis have already qualified, and they're touching us up in a 2020 series in New Zealand at the moment. But what about this game yesterday? There were more runs scored in this game over the ditch than there were in India in that 2 innings, 2-day Test match. 219 scored by the Kiwis in the first innings, and the Aussies dragged that back a little bit. Australia finished 4 runs short, 215 after Daniel Sams and Marcus Stoinis went berserk in the last 7 overs. But, gee whiz, what do we make of that?
Well, you've got to probably attribute this to the lack of star power that the Aussies were fielding over there in New Zealand. I'm not sure what you guys make of that.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I certainly agree. It's a different story if you put David Warner and Steve Smith and Josh Hazlewood into the team, but nevertheless, it is what it is, and most of the guys who went out there played pretty well. 78 from Stoinis in a big run chase, 41 from Sams, and they almost dragged us over the line, but both lost their wicket in the final over, and that was it. Game over.
Yeah, good captaincy again from Williamson when decided to throw the ball to Neeson, who hadn't bowled at that point. Why not? The spinner that would have come on to bowl Sodhi, the Aussies had taken him for 41 off 3 overs. So good decision, I guess. Well done to the Kiwis. And they can only beat who's out there to beat. So it's not their fault that the Aussies left half their Test stars at home because they were supposed to be in South Africa, if we remember correctly. So anyway, it is what it is. The Kiwis are going to win that series quite comfortably and probably deserve to.
All a bit farcical in the way you've summed it up there, Jason, considering that we should have been in South Africa, but it is what it is, as you say.
Let's talk about the Australian Open tennis, and I want to start with Naomi Osaka winning the women's tournament. She's a star. She won 6-4, 6-3 against Brady. Ellis, what did you make of that?
Yeah, it was quite interesting to see her really come and win this so comfortably in the end. She'll definitely be one to watch out for, but you've got to question where Serena was, because you always expect her to bring such a presence to the Australian Open, and to not even make the final is quite surprising, I have to say.
What about Ash Barty, boys? Bowed out in the quarterfinals, lost in Adelaide pretty early. She's going to have to get back on the horse and head overseas after having 12 months off. How good is she?
Well, I still maintain that she's very good, and obviously, you know, the only hope that we really have in terms of an Australian maintaining their place in that elite bracket among the best performers in the code. But I don't know, possibly a bit of a downhill skier, considering that she's bombed out in 2 Opens back-to-back. I mean, you would have expected... I mean, this was meant to be the Barty party, and it was a bit of a fizzer.
Dan?
Yeah, I've still got a lot of faith in Ash Barty. I think she's going to come back and win at least one more Open, but this year it was all about Naomi Osaka, who just looks like the best female player in the world right now, and looks like she's going to be in that position for some time to come.
I would agree with that. Dan, I'm going to start with you on this one. Novak Djokovic winning his 9th Australian Open. The big three, who's the best of all time? Well, all three of them have dominated a different surface, haven't they? We've got Federer dominating on grass. We've got, Nadal's untouchable on clay, and Djokovic has made Melbourne Park his playground. So what do we make of that, and what do we make of who is the GOAT? Who's the best of all time?
Well, it was a great win from Djokovic here, and between those three and the rest of the world, there's a huge gap. But for me, I'm a Roger Federer man, always have been. Maybe it's because he just burst on the scene first, but until someone wins more titles than him, he's the man for me, the best all-rounder on every surface. So, yeah, he gets the nod from me.
Medvedev, Ellis, what did you make of him?
Look, I couldn't have been more disappointed, and I think the general sort of fan base in Australia will agree with that view. Given that Stefanos Tsitsipas overcame such a difficult position and beat a world champion, a proven world champion in Rafael Nadal, coming back from 2 sets, to then lose to Medvedev and witness Medvedev be in his place in that final against Djokovic and play so poorly. We're talking double faults in an open final, guys. Just a real clown-like performance at times. He almost didn't seem like his heart was fully in it. And I think everyone was extremely disappointed in how quickly that game was over.
No doubt. All right, well, that is over now. We will move on. We've got plenty to talk about in the next hour. We'll get the Flow Man on the line. Good thoughts, gentlemen. It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show.